My people, it's about that time.
Like a boss.
Live from USA, hoping you get paid every day. This is the boss of Bitcoin, the Cristo of crypto. It's your boy BK. And if you don't like me, you must not like money. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Today, I'm going to be showing you all how you can retire from Bitcoin, how much you need to purchase, how long you need to wait, and the expected rate of return that you need to achieve in order to unplug yourself from the matrix and live free for the rest of your days. So if this is your first time tuning in, congratulations, baby. You are now rocking with the best. My name is BK, also known as the Crypto Trader, and I'm the boss of these charts, as you will soon find out. Every day I grace this microphone with my voice is another day you get to profit as a result, and today is no exception. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe. I make a video every single day to try to help you get paid, and this is how we do it. We giving away free Bitcoin. That's right, I said FREE BTC. Shout out your city in the comments. Let me know where in the world you are watching this video from. Every single Friday, I go through and pick a random comment, and bam! It's just that easy to get paid. So all you need to do is shout out your city. I will be getting to the shout outs at the end of this video. And then again on Friday, you got a chance to win some free Bitcoin. So just leave a comment. And without further ado, let's make it do what it do. Let's go ahead and make this money. This is what we talking about, people. They said it is a major crisis happening right now, unfolding in America. Another one, and this is how you know it's probably real, because they're not talking about this one on the news. They might say a few things about it, but I think it's really happening behind the scenes, and we're starting to see some of the early signs of a retirement crisis. This was written by Forbes this year. It's covering up the date. There you go. 23, so about a year ago. I think it's still very relevant. It says America's retirement crisis could cost federal and state governments an estimated $1.3 trillion by 2040. The World Economic Forum has noted for the first time in human history, people aged 65 and over outnumber children aged 5 or younger. That means we are top heavy with the older generation, and essentially when you get older, you really don't have that much economic output anymore. It's like you're more consuming, you're not really earning. So it's kind of like a net loss for the economy, insofar as that has to be subsidized, and then you start talking about Social Security. But we'll get all into that in a minute. Let me get back to this article. Much of retirement funding shortfall is driven by demographics. That's kind of misleading. I think it's driven by fiscal policy, essentially wringing humanity dry and not leaving us much to save for a rainy day, because it's raining today. You know what I'm saying? According to PEW, U.S. households, including someone 65 and older, will have less than $75,000 in annual income. And a level report said financial vulnerability is expected to jump 43% to 33 million. So essentially, almost half of the households, 65 or over, have less than 75K. And that's the household, right? So most people are, have a kid, a wife, and they're taking care of grandparents. So it's like not a lot to go around at all. It says, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve report on economic well-being of U.S. households, that would be a good report. I probably need to pull that up. See what else they saying in there. Only a third of U.S. workforce think their retirement savings is on track. Only 1/3 of the U.S. workforce thinks they're saving enough for retirement. The median retirement account balance for those approaching retirement would likely generate less than $1,000 per month over a 15-year span. Here's another article. This is a more recent article published this year. Retirement crisis looms as Americans struggle to save. Talks about Eric Payne, a 37-year-old single father with 2 boys, works hard to stretch his paycheck. He makes a good salary, $80,000, but essentially he's living check to check, week to week, paying things such as groceries, car payment, mortgage, kids' clothing, childcare, and he has less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Keep in mind, he's 37 years old, making $80,000 a year, has less than $10,000 saved. He doesn't stop to expect working at 65 and he'll have to keep earning. The number of U.S. workers in the labor market over the age of 75 is expected to double because nobody has money. About half of private sector workers were covered by those so-called defined benefit plans in the mid-1980s, but as of 2022, only 15% of the private sector has them. And this is referring to pension plans, right? So essentially, back in the day, one of the ways they convinced Americans to work for 30 years was that when you retired, the company would pay you out a livable wage, and you'd essentially, get paid not to go to work because you had put so much work in during the time that you were there. Very few companies have that anymore. Corporations have deemed that liability unfit, an unfit expense to incur personnel well-being. Human resources is more like human livestock with cattle, and a lot of these companies just, open door policy to where it's a revolving door. You bring them in, kick them out, bring them in, kick them out. And even if you stay 20, 30 years, your best chance to accumulate any type of financial well-being will come through your 401k, Roth IRA, different investment vehicles, not so much a secured payment plan provided by your employer. Says the Social Security Trust Fund is facing a 75-year deficit, and without intervention, it will be depleted by the mid-2030s. Can we repeat that again for the people in the back? The Social Security Trust Fund is facing a 75-year deficit, and without intervention, it will be depleted by the mid-2030s. I think that's enough right there. I remember in Notre Dame, they told us about the Social Security Fund and how upside down it was. And essentially, like the first lady to ever qualify for Social Security was this old lady working in a school. I think she was a secretary or something. And she was like 2 or 3 weeks from retiring when Social Security started. So she technically only worked 1 week before she retired with like 32 years. And she worked 1 week, got 1 week of paid income into Social Security, and she lived another 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So that told you right there, like, this thing probably ain't gonna work out. It's essentially a way for the government to siphon money from the people that do work and reallocate some of it to the people that don't. But as we know, inflation happens. And so the money that was paid out 20, 30 years ago is probably worth a fraction of what it was. And now it's basically a zero-sum game. It's like watching a balloon slowly lose its air. And you think you might have a whiff of oxygen left in it. Like, nah, by the time it get to you, it ain't, nope. Better, time for plan B. What they talk about with Bitcoin, time for plan B, So that's why I'm doing this video, because this is underpinning the economy right now. Like, we had the baby boomers, they are leaving this earth as we speak. And some of them still in politics today. Some of them still, iconic figures in the worlds of Keynesian economics and fiscal policy. And God bless them. I'm sure you're going to be in great hands when you leave our earth. But after that, it's like we still got to be here. We got to figure this stuff out. This ain't going to work. They said Social Security ain't but paying, for another 15 years. They said ain't nobody got no pensions no more. What we supposed to do? We ain't got Social Security. We don't have pensions. We got 12% inflation. We only getting 80 to 100,000 a year. And that's getting divided up by groceries. Eggs is $10 a dozen. Gas is $6 a gallon. Like, where's this money supposed to go? You know what it reminds me of? That movie Out of Time. And if you haven't seen it, it's by Justin Timberlake. And the reason he was casted in this movie is so his name would be Just in Time. You see how they did that? But it's called In Time, featuring Justin Timberlake. And essentially, it kind of tells the story that we're experiencing right now. They dramatize it, with this technology in your arm that kind of counts down the minutes, the seconds of your life, and you have to work to achieve more seconds. But essentially, that's what dollars is. Like, if you go back and actually look at like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this starts to diagnose like essentially what we all need to experience a well-being exemplified in a high quality state of life. Psychological safety, and this is where they get most people, between psychological and safety. Essentially, if you don't protect your mind, if you don't have adequate access to nutrition, even the household environment affecting your sleep, judgment, water. A lot of people in this world still don't have access to clean water. A lot of people still don't have access to electricity. Safety, depending on how much taxes corporations pay determines how many police are in the area. Nobody thought that would be remotely possible, but guess what? You ain't got too many businesses in your neighborhood paying no taxes. Well, probably got more liquor stores than you do banking institutions, right? That's normally how they, and check cashing places, because you got to come back every 2 weeks, payday loans, right? They on the same block. Liquor store, payday loan, and a check cashing spot. 1, 2, and 3, right? And so neighborhoods like that, probably not the most adequate safety. But again, this is based on monetary attainment within the local economy. Love, belonging, esteem, self-actualization. The bottom two is basically most tied to the economy. Oftentimes, keeping people trapped or stuck in a lackluster financial situation. I say all that to say that we do have an alternative. As I've told you previously, once you change your value, you begin to change your worth. And Bitcoin has proven time and time again that it has value moving into the future. In so much as they say that Bitcoin price grew at a compounded rate of what? 19%. And that's a very, very, very conservative estimate. I've heard people say that all you need to do is own Bitcoin about 3 to 4 years and it doubles in price. Regardless of what price you buy it, hold it for 4 years, you go get twice your money out of it. And so we have this span, but I think a safe assumption for a rate of return to Bitcoin is 19-20%. That's very, very, very conservative. Considering, between 2 and 4 years, you go double your money. 4 years on the low, 2 years on the high. Average it out at 3, now you're getting 35% a year, right? So somewhere between 20 and 35%, we probably have a 75, 85% confidence interval of Bitcoin's expected return, right? Now we can start to play with some of the numbers. Oh, and did you catch this part down here that they estimate by 2040, which is just 15 years away, Bitcoin will be $1 million on that 19%, and that's just 19% a year, right? And that's why I've told you the game has changed. The name of the game is now accumulate as much Bitcoin as fast as possible, because this is where the growth curve is expected. 10 more years, you're looking at $6 million a coin. Now you know why Mario was running through them worlds grabbing as many as he could. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to tell us with all the video games what the end goal was. Initial investment, let's do some calculator work, right? Let's say we are our man right here. Let's bump him up a little bit. I mean, we'll keep it at 80. Let's do this for my man Eric Payne right here, right? Because there's a lot of Erics out there. 37 years old with 2 boys. Or 39-year-old with 2 dogs. Same difference. Initial investment, he didn't start with anything. Monthly contribution, Eric is making $80,000, right? If we want to take a 3% savings rate off of that, times 0.03 divided by 12. Look at that. That worked out. All right. 3% saving rate put him at $200 a month. For those of you guys that don't know, I just started a 10K challenge where I'm putting in $300 a month. And I'm probably going to get to $10,000 within 2 years. That's my goal. So for Eric's purpose, he's putting in $200 a month. Length of time, we're going to hold it 20 years. Estimated rate of return, they just showed you on that other page, Bitcoin is sitting at 19%. Let's give it the conservative estimate, 19%. Just so you are aware, the average return on Wall Street is about 10%. It's between 8, as of late it's been 13, 14 because they're getting so much fake money printed up that they're just buying up all the assets. But it's normally between 8 and 12 for Wall Street. Bitcoin, I just showed you, is probably going to be somewhere between 15 and 30, right? They're saying 19. I would rather say 20, but we'll just keep it relevant for the data we've been given. Interest rate variance. This is where we could play with the range. So I could say 5% to say that 19. Let's just round it up to 20 just for even numbers. It can either be 20%, 15%, or 25%. And if we wanted to, actually, I think a range of 10 would be better. That way it actually takes it down to 10% on the worst year possible. Or 30% on the best year possible. Compounded annually. Calculate. There you go. Look at that. In 20 years, by putting in $200 a month, the average rate of return you will have is $500,000. Guess what? You could retire on $500,000. You won't be absorbently comfortable, but it is manageable, right? And this is the way to figure it out. Now, you might have to move. Like, you probably can't retire in, like, New York City or Chicago. I don't know where it said he's living or how much he's paying on rent, but that's a huge part of it. Hopefully, he owns his own house in 20 years so that he's not paying rent anymore, and that's the biggest expense. But $500,000 is manageable, especially at $200. That's a 3% savings rate. That means you spend the 97% of the money that come through your hand. Only thing you putting in Bitcoin is $200 a month, and you're ending up with $448,000. Did you see that line up there? That's if Bitcoin continues on the track, outperforms, becomes a global asset, begins to get purchased by more governments, by more institutions, and we have an average rate of return of 30%. $200 a month gets you 1.5. And on that 1.5, this is how you can figure out how much money you can live off per year. Say we don't get to the 1.5. Say we get to 448, right? The easiest way to do it is average it out by 10 and say, even though we're doing 20%, the drawdown, you never want the principal to disappear. So you would say, okay, divide this by 10, and that's what you get to move out every year. So essentially, you would be able to take out around $44,000 a year, and that's what you have to live on. And that's if you assume a 10% rate of return, because then the principal will never disappear, theoretically. Now with Bitcoin, you go have ups and downs and all around. So I would almost say you need twice as much, because then you basically giving yourself a big enough delta to account for the variance. Because you could go down 15% in a year and then go up 60% 2 years later. But it all averages out, it standards out. So I would think you need a bigger bubble, to where you probably need, in my mind, I said the contribution I was looking at, and this is really, for anybody doing this trading challenge with me, I'm putting in $300 a month. We could leave it at 20 years. I'm going to get 20. If the market getting 20, I'm probably getting 25. I'm just going to be real with you. That's just how it is. When you trading for Bitcoin using the boss method, like, if you only average 5% above the market, like, you didn't really do that good of a job. But, I'll do 20 with a 5 and a 5, right? 5 up and 5 down, because my variance is going to be a lot tighter on BTC, because you can jump in and jump out. So this is what I'm looking at. On my $300 a month over the next 20 years, I'm probably going to clip $1.5 million. And so that's better than 25%. That's probably 27% a year. That's what I'm looking at. But this is, and the only reason I'm doing this is to actually show you guys it's possible. Like, I was looking at all this stuff before, a couple weeks ago, trying to figure out, like, what can I do to differentiate myself and to help people. And then I just realized, like, nobody ever showed you guys how to make $1 million, trading Bitcoin. And make it relative for something you could do. Like, we see all of the people on TV with 20 million, 30 million, 50 million behind their name, but we didn't know any of them, when they was making 80,000. You see what I'm saying? When they was sitting over here, my man Eric Payne about to be a millionaire. All he got to do is mess with the boss, right? I'll put him on, no problem. The doors are always open. This is the future. 20 years from now, I'm clipping 1.5, and I'm showing you all how to do it $300 a month. Don't believe me? Just watch. I've already done this once already. I put in 20 G's in 2017 and flipped it into 400, 500,000. Right? And the wave is coming back. It's a 7-year cycle. It's coming back. And that's the low. 600,000 is the low. So essentially in 20 years, I would be able to live on 67,000 a year, which is what, like 5 G's a month. It's not bad. If you got your house paid for, like, you can make it work on 5 G's. Like, you might have to move somewhere that's not in the middle of a highly congregated metropolitan city, but if you own that real estate, well, then run it. You know what I'm saying? Move somewhere else. Airbnb it, cash flow the rest of your existence. But this is the reality. 1.2 million at 25%. I'm going to show you guys how to beat the market. I'm going to show you guys how to make that, how to retire wealthy from a minimum investment, from 3% of your net income. Throw that in crypto, learn how to swing trade it, jump in, jump out like double dutch, put down 2, pick up 6, put down 6, pick up 24. You see what I'm saying? Like, then it just multiply, put down 24, pick up 59. Put down 59, pick up 112. Put down 112, market drop, whoop, we out by 105. You see what I'm saying? That's what the boss method do. Sit on the sideline, wait, market warm up, put down 20. Then you pull out 80, just lock it up, put it on, get a dash master node, let the market pay you for the rest of your life. Now we start with 20 again. right? That's how you flip it. And I'm going to show you how to do it, right? I've seen it. I know it's possible. I got a plan. I got a strategy, you know? And now I'm building my arc. And whoever want to get on board, you more than welcome. This is the beginning of the creation of a legacy. I am here to empower and to educate and to inform as many people as possible on what is possible. And the easiest way to do it is to show you myself. Right? Let my life be my great work. So there you go, everybody. 600,000 from $300 a month. And that's on the low. That's just getting 20%. That's not swing trading for Bitcoin. That's not calling a trade, and catching 10% in a week like what I just did. I told you, if you join the Boss of Bitcoin SMS team, the money team, 2 trades I gave out for free last week, both of them are leading the market right now. I gave you one on this channel already. I gave you both of them on this channel. So go watch the videos to figure out which coins they are. I only help people who are willing to help themselves, and I come on here every single day. So if you ain't subscribed by now, then like I said, you must not like money. You don't know who you talking to, right? Drop your phone number at the top of this website, bossofbitcoin.com. If you left your phone number within the past week, you just got the invite to the group. Come on in. The doors are always open. We are here to change the world. We are here to cash out. We are here to unplug from the matrix, from the decimation and the deterioration of society. We are here to live in a new earth. We are here to design the life in which we want to experience. We are here, not of this world, but through it. And we are here to be a testament of what will be. And, and we here to make some money, right? I told my friend the other day, I was like, I need a new stamp on my passport. Where are you trying to go? Right? So it's like, you got to speak it into existence. And the easiest way to speak it is to put together a plan, and every day you make a tangible action towards that goal. Every trade I do is a tangible action towards that goal. I know where I'm going. I know where I've been. 1 + 2 = 3. The past, the present are known. The future is no longer a mystery. Amen. Shout out to my people. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some shout outs in. This is from one of our videos, Zcash. My largest holding, had it for years. Yes, sir. This was one of the picks I just gave to people. It's already up like 12%. Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? They talking about 19% in a year. We just got 12% in a week. Holla at me. The squeaky toy, Joe said the squeaky toy is the real buy signal. My dogs, like, I don't know where they at right now, but they be coming in here just like, they feel me get amped up and they just come want to play. Big Freddy said, will be hybrid, proof of work and proof of stake. Better protection of the network. I don't doubt it. I mean, that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see if they got a master node though, because like I said, I'm in the flip BTC for master node business. So I'm looking at a Dash master node. If y'all don't know what master nodes is, you should, because this is basically how you become a validator of the network. So essentially, proof of stake coins have some of them have what's called master nodes, and it's people that accumulate enough of the coin to where the network pays them not to sell it. And so the master node requirement is 1,000 Dash, and I think right now Dash is sitting at, I want to say $22. $26, so 26 grand for a master node. That's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? You could barely get a decent car for 26,000. So you get a master node and have Dash just cash you out the rest of your days. That's the retirement plan I'm talking about, people. Right? So yes, hybrid proof of work and stake. So I mean, that'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting. Toronto, Ontario in the building. Thank you so much for watching. Good one, boss. Like these OG coins, yes sir. Cheers from Portugal. Thank you. Tasmania, Australia. You know what I'm saying? We got the fam down under watching. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Mr. 305. Thank you, Gainesville. Shout out to the Gator Town, Miss 90 Crypto. In Sydney. I thought you were in New Zealand. Are you in Australia or New Zealand? If y'all know who Miss 90 Crypto is, check out her channel. She's done a lot to help educate people as well. At 90 Crypto. Pura Vida from Costa Rica. Shout out Costa Rica living. Good to see you, Zcash and ZK Snark. So there you go. This is everybody that shouted out. If you want to get shout out, just show me some love. We'll get to you in the next video. So with that being said, it's that time of the day. Signing out. Boss. Boy BK, no matter where you stay, Brazil to Bay, California, all the way back out through Money. Good night, good morning, and good day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time. Hit that thumbs up button for a player one time. Do that for me if you appreciate mine. Till we meet again, stay cryptic, y'all. Peace.
Like a boss.
Huh. Arms.